Hello there my friends, and this is the second part for my advanced guides for Infiltrator on Planetside 2. In this video I'm gonna try and cover as much strategy guides as I can. So let's get on with this. I must remind you guys that these tips are not necessarily in order, so as an infiltrator you must know when to use them and how to use them. You must be willing to adapt and think up numerous strategies, as I said before in my first basic video. First tip is about using bushes when you are out of cloak and you are running away from enemies. Bushes are a very great place where to hide. Enemies won't even suspect you are there. You can use them also for attack purposes, like hiding in them without using your cloak, therefore not making any sound when you are attacking your enemy. And here's a great example. Since Infiltrator possess weapons that are either fast firing and weak, or slow firing and powerful. Either way you must engage your enemy from behind. That way you will give yourself advantage over your enemy while he is turning and you are still shooting at him. This little microseconds will still give you time to kill him, or just blast one more bullet into his body, therefore making him more vulnerable for next shots. I would not recommend engaging your opponent while you are in front of him and you are still cloaked. Therefore your enemy will have more time to start aiming at you and start firing at you. I would suggest you to wait until he passes, then uncloak and of course then start killing him. You must be willing to realize when the fight is over and you must run. It's just like the saying, live to fight another day. But this time it's better to live for a second longer to fight another fight and take down more than just one enemy. For example, when you see enemy Max coming at you with full strength, you ain't gonna be able to kill him. Instead you should not hesitate to run away and flank your enemies from different sides, killing medics and engineers, leaving that Max exposed for your teammates' fire. And so we move on. Infiltrators are basically lone wolves, which means that they are not accompanied by any other teammate. Reason for this is that you can be caught in crossfire when your enemies and your teammates are trying to kill each other. I would recommend you to let your teammates go first into building that you are approaching, or just flank the building from the other side and kill the enemies that are coming out. This will allow you to engage your opponent while their attention is being diverted by your teammate. It sounds like a kill stealing, but it really isn't. It is just dealing with your enemies the best way you can. And as in video you can see, the next step is about knowing your environment. Using jump pads you will be able to move across the land much faster than by foot. Also, this will allow you to run away much quicker. Next step is about knowing the easiest and the safest path around. To get behind the enemy's lines you must use the safest path and the most unnoticeable one, which may be much longer than the shortest shortcut out there, but it will get you behind the enemy's lines safe and sound. Part of all this is knowing how to fall. This is quite interesting trick, and if you are an infiltrator sniper, you will do this quite a lot. The key to this trick is to land on the surfaces that are way too steep for you to climb. For example, surfaces that are over 60 degrees. Even 90-degree slope will save your life. And I must remind you all snipers, use the height advantage, and I think you already know why. And the first things I would recommend you to do after you get behind enemy's lines is to hack all the consoles. Primarily, of course, first one is always the vehicle terminal, so you can pull out a Sunday yourself and allow your teammates to spawn behind the enemy's lines themselves. Being a lone wolf will mean that there won't be anybody around who will revive you, nor supply you with ammunition, which will mean that you have to take charge of this yourself. Hack enemy changing station for infantry, take out a medic and heal yourself, or take out the engineer and drop an ammunition box for yourself, or just click resupply button on your infiltrator character. Scout infiltrators, aka infiltrators that are using mid-range weapons, must move constantly. Reason for this is that once you are camping, enemies will come after you even at first death, and they will overrun your position quite easily. As for sniper infiltrators, I would suggest you to change your position once in a while, not so often as scout infiltrators, but still. After each shot I would suggest you change your position even by 1 foot. So to make your enemy think that there is more than one infiltrator there, and make him fear you. Besides, if your enemy infiltrators know where you are standing always, they can just aim at your position and wait for you to poke your head out. As in my basic tutorial, I said that you should be cloaked while you are aiming. This will make sure that your enemy infiltrators won't see where you are standing, and of course they won't start shooting at you. Also, I would recommend you to look around once in a while to just make sure that no enemies are coming after you. And under no circumstances forget your primary targets, the medics and engineers. Good sniper is the sniper that takes out enemy by one shot, which means that you must hit your enemies in the head with parallax, XM98 or V10, which means that easiest targets are the ones who are standing. I like to think that those targets are just waiting for me to kill them. So you should just enjoy killing those idiots that are standing and waiting for you. In case you find yourself being shot at, if you hear any gunshot from a sniper rifle, immediately start moving around, start getting behind the cover, and do not hesitate to run away, because the next shot might be in your head. This brings me to my next step. Always listen to environment, always listen for enemies to shout, or just listen for them to walk and shoot, especially when enemies are uncloaking behind you. As in my previous video, I told you to buy anti-personnel mines. With these mines you can actually determine how well you can predict your enemy. If you manage to kill enemy by placing mines somewhere, that means that you did a great job and you knew where he was running exactly. Ability to predict your enemy will definitely improve over time. I would like to say that professional infiltrators will definitely know where you will be running even if you are being infiltrator yourself. Thanks to my friend SkyxTech, now I can bring you these few tips. And the last environmental tip from me is about using the correct environment for yourself. Remember, if you're running through the background that has more light and dark areas, you'll get more notice than on the background that has one solid color. Using your flash with Wrath module installed, you can get past any enemy, any tank for that matter, unless of course he's paying attention to the environment, listening to the sounds, which apparently NC and Terrans are not doing very well. And I'm telling this because I have tested that a lot of times. There's a tip I really want to share with you all. If you're driving your cloaked flash and suddenly jump out to kill your enemy, you can still cloak yourself after you have jumped out. Your flash will continue driving forward as if you are still on it. Your enemy will start shooting at the flash, so this will be a distraction for him. You can kill him from behind that much easier. Next tip is combination with light assault. Pick your teammate light assault, let him place a C4 on your bike, and then drive your bike in a stealth next to enemy Thunderer, and let your teammate blow it up. Not always you can bring your flash next to the Thunderer. That's why you need to bring your light assault friend instead. Let him place the charges. You both get back on the bike and get away from there. At safe distance you can look at the fireworks he can make by pushing one button. Remember that combining your knowledge of the combat and also these tips and many other ones, you will be able to not only dominate your enemy, they will fear you, you will not be killing them, but you will be hunting them like animals. I hope you enjoyed this video and I really hope that you learned something from this. And please subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment on it, please tell me what you liked or you didn't, maybe comment on something else. And of course I would like to see you on Woodman server. Please join the one with sovereignty, don't go to radical new conglomerates or the cowardly Terrans. And of course join the KOTV, the Keepers of the Void. However, before you go I have few bloopers for you. And the first one is how I managed to kill enemy infiltrator, which was uncloaking. I heard him, so I turned around and I killed him. This is one of the tips I told you. Use the sound, never turn it off. Use it always. And as you can see, nothing special, right? But the best part is what follows. I don't know how to take this as an insult or a compliment, but my respect for Terran infiltrators has gone down, even more than before. And I didn't know it was possible, because those people are just terrible at everything.